If you're looking to support having healthy relationship with your partner, family, friends, work, and God, check out my Patreon account in the show notes and description and become a member. Membership is as low as $5 a month. Be recognized on the podcast, have access to exclusive content, and other benefits. Welcome back to the Dating Relationship Playbook with Chaz, a podcast where we discuss having, maintaining, and improving healthy relationships, not just with our significant other, but with family, friends, and God. So one of the trending topics or trending things that happened is this woman on the Usher Chris Brown tour. This woman, they invite this woman up, and Usher, he he goes into like kiss or whatever. She like leans back. She didn't want to be, kissed or whatever. And so he gets up and basically just was like, get her out of, hey, she don't want to, it look like she want to be on stage. And then he kind of gives it this motion or whatever to like kick her off or to have her to go. And so she gets, obviously she's a young woman, and she goes on social media and like, hey, his team gave us moved us to VIP, asked me to get on stage. I'm not going to turn that down. Who's going to turn out going on stage? And then even of us having this moment right now, is countless videos, people doing their thing, analyzing it and saying certain things. And I really can't blame her. Like, hey, she wanted to be seen. She was seen. She didn't want to be kissed, or you didn't want them to get close like that. I can't really, you can't really be on her, I don't think, but anyway. So she puts that she took a picture with Usher's wife or whatever. And I was thinking, I'm like, I didn't even know Usher was married. I didn't even know he was even, I didn't even know that. I guess when you obviously being in that position like that, being in the entertainment business the way he is, like he's like a sex symbol. So you really aren't going to be publicizing that, because that's part of your brand. That's part of you. That's part of your brand. You sell that. And so the question was that I was that was in my head was like, well, I wonder, if my women viewers, how would they feel? Is money that, would you be fine with that? As long as he's coming home with you, will a woman be fine with, okay, he making this money, but he on tour all these days. Are you cool with him doing that regularly? And you're there. Like, I'm that, obviously they she understands that it's a business, that is a performance. But yeah, I don't know how women think with that. So I'm curious to know in the comments, if you share, like, hey, would you be fine with your guy doing that, long as he bringing in the money and long as he's with you and it's just an act? Are you cool with that? I know like certain, obviously, actors do that. Yeah, they do that. Another thing that, when it comes to these concerts and things like that, I looked up like the woman with the 20,000 with Chris Brown and also a woman, a man filing divorce after a woman did that with Usher, and those weren't really verified, so I don't really want to speak on that. But I do. There has been the thing of what, and on other podcasts, like what guys, what does that look like in relationship? When I'm talking about healthy relationship, what does that look like as far as, hey, you at a concert, or you doing the picture with Chris Brown. Me, if I'm being in a relationship, like, I would want you not to go on stage. Like, I think now that you might have to have a conversation as far as, like, hey, if you see somebody, you cannot fan out. Like, that's, like, I guess, certain, you can fan out, but you can't, it's certain stuff that, like the pictures that I seen, I don't, like, hey, he can have his hand around you and stuff like that, but the stuff that they doing where he's like in between their legs and they got him bending them over, and I'm really not on like the Ushers and the Usher or Chris Brown, because like that's your job, that's your, that's not on you to, because they get to, the women or whoever is taking the meet and greet pictures, they choose how they want what Chris Brown to do and how he is supposed to position himself. So I'm not really on them, because that's their job. They not supposed to be maintaining. When you talk about maintaining a healthy relationship, they're not maintaining your relationship. You got to do that. They're just there to make money and to entertain. So I'm not on them and saying, hey, they got to stop doing this. That's their job. I'm not on them about that. But I am saying, hey, if I'm in a relationship, you cannot be having him bend you over. You can, like, at this point, it's like, you should know your person. But if you find out that they are like that or they can't control themselves, then I don't know, like, that would be an issue for me. I wouldn't break up with anybody, but we gotta, like, because one, that's kind of disrespectful. One is disrespectful that, because that's a man. At the end of the day, I'm a man. That's a man. Like, I'm not looking, we don't, once you get a certain age, you're not looking at a guy like, you're not looking at guys like that. As far as, when I was a kid, you look at celebrities and things like that, and you look up to them. But when you become a man, you don't look up to guys. You don't look up to celebrities like that. Hey, you a man just like I'm a man. Obviously, you famous. Everybody knows you, but when it comes to my woman, like, no, you cannot do that. I'm not looking at you like that. So I would want to have that conversation, or what pick a woman that, like, hey, once you get in this position, how are you going to conduct yourself? But that's just because that's disrespectful the way, if you in a relationship and you haven't got, taking picture with Chris Brown, one is $1,000. Plus, and two, some of the positions they be kissing, it's very graphic and something, if you single, hey, you do your thing. But if you're in a relationship, hey, I guess that's, a thing for you and your guy. But, yeah, so that's the thing. And then I also think about, like, even if I was like a millionaire, I would rather spend that money on like a vacation or a trip or something that's going to last, not just a picture. Because when the picture's done, after you pay that money, I'm still thinking like, hey, that's $1,000. You could buy jewelry. You could buy, put some towards a trip or something like that. But anyway, I just think about the respect level. Like, to me, you should have respect. Just like I wouldn't want she would, because at one point, I remember back in the day, this was a while ago, where Nicki Minaj would bring people on and do lap dances and stuff like that. I remember because I was a basketball guy. So Steve Nash got up there. She got Steve Nash and did that. Like, I wouldn't want, just like you, she probably would, a woman wouldn't, wouldn't want me doing that with Nicki Minaj or any celebrity. I wouldn't want her to fan out and do something this disrespectful. Not just, like I said, it's a man thing, but also, like, especially if you got all these, especially if it is a moment that goes viral, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you got, you on the online and YouTube and, social media, and then it's like, that's not a good look either as a guy, so, yeah, I just, we talk about, it's not confirmed with those other, the 20,000 and the divorce thing, but it's definitely like, it's some memes and different, videos being, where guys shaking and nervous because they girl going to a Chris Brown concert because you don't know how they're gonna act. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like, like I said, I forgot that Usher was married. Because he's always, he's just like a sex symbol, so he can't really. I guess, I know that they probably don't want him to share too much of his personal life, when it comes to relationships or his marriage. But yeah, question is, women, like, how much would you be okay with that? Your husband being on, having a job or doing something where he's with women like that, and you're fine just because, hey, he's making the money, he's not really with them, he's with me. I'm curious to know your thoughts with that. Again, this is the Dating Relationship Playbook with Chaz podcast. We discuss having, maintaining, and improving healthy relationships.